Howdy, everyone. My name's Nicholas, and welcome to the Headliner PodPod. We're a show about podcasts featuring podcasts by podcasters that's hosted by people who help podcasters with their podcasting. On each episode, a few of us folks over at Headliner sit down to play a game that centers around listening to randomly selected clips from over 500 podcast submissions we've gotten from podcasters. Why? Well, in order to find what we call Pod Zero. Here are the rules. Each lucky contestant will hear a 60-second podcast clip. They'll then need to pick the correct podcast title from a lineup of 3 choices before being shown the artwork for that show. Before we get this show on the road, though, let's say hi to each of our contestants for the day. Starting with Jesse.
Hello, each of our contestants for today.
Next up, we've got Christy.
Let's go.
Followed by Oliver.
Hello, hello, hello.
Max.
Yo.
And Pratik.
Hey, everyone.
Max, you're trying my patience. You opened with yo, and it made me want to do the Marky Mark thing again. We also have Alyssa as our producer.
Hi.
Great. So, Alyssa, do you have a fun ad read for us today?
I do.
Neat.
With Headliner, you can now caption full-length episodes all for free. Adding captions to your content improves accessibility efforts, boosts SEO, and helps elevate your audience's experience. To get started, visit eddy.headliner.app or click the pink transcription button in your Headliner account.
And there you have it. Now, with all that fun stuff out of the way, how about we just dive right into things with Jesse going first?
Ooh.
I mean, I'm sure he's fine that she didn't go, but it's almost one of those things where it's like, if you had a working relationship with your boss for 5 years, you were there when they got into the relationship, started talking about their significant other, and then they're getting married, it would be a slight to not be invited. Valid. Damn if you do, damn. Yeah. Interesting. So, I went to a few weddings in 2023, and you've been to a few weddings way before that.
It's been a few years
Yeah.
for you, right? Yeah. So I was looking at what kind of the trends are for this year, and they're very different from 2023, and even when I had my wedding in 2017.
Mhm.
Do you want to hear some things
I
that
do.
people are predicting? Okay. Drone photography. That, like, it makes sense. It makes sense. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's so, like, drones are so popular, like, so that makes sense.
All right. There was your clip. I'd like the record to state that I misheard drone photography as throne photography at first, and I thought they were just setting the timer on their cameras and chucking it in the air like a tomahawk. So, Jesse, on that note, this was important context for you, I'm sure. Here are your options. Number 1, have we talked about? Number 2, ready, set, be wed. And number 3, the perfect blend, a merry little pod.
Perfect blend. Mary. How is Mary spelled?
Marry.
Okay. That makes more sense than the Santa Claus themed Christmas podcast that I had in my mind. I'm gonna lock in number 1. Have we talked about?
Okay, was there a reason you gravitated towards that one?
Whenever you read it off, a green light went off in my head, and I just follow that blindly. I go as the crystal guides, as Rick and Morty said.
Good to know. Good to know. Also good to know you probably follow basic traffic law, I think. You
I
are
try.
correct. You are correct, and good for you. It is actually Have We Talked About, and this was from the episode Weddings, Our Hot Takes. Here's our description. 2 friends at different points in their lives who chat about everything in their lives, from current events to pop culture, from self-care to self-indulgence, and everything in between. So, cool stuff. And I also love their little, like, their podcast art. It's just a photo of a wedding. Nothing more, just good episode specific stuff all around.
Is that J-Lo and
Is
Ben
it?
Affleck?
You know what? It might actually be.
Kind of looks like it.
It is. It totally is.
Yeah.
I had to zoom
I know it's
in.
hard.
I'd
It's
know
hard
that
to
beard
recognize
anywhere.
Ben Affleck without Duncan in his hands.
Oh,
But
you beat me to it. Jeez.
did I, Max? Did I
Good
steal
one.
that from
did.
you?
I just unmuted to add a Duncan joke in there.
The only reason I could recognize him is I saw him on the Tom Brady roast. So he's fresh on the mind.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, the only thing
he couldn't roast Tom Brady. Couldn't do it.
He couldn't.
Didn't they mute the mics during the roast for some stuff? I think I was reading about that.
They muted Kim Kardashian, got booed.
Yep.
So it was live.
There you have it. You learn something new every day. Jumping on over to our next clip, let's go with Oliver. Why not?
I'm ready to believe you, Nicholas.
She finds a lot of time where nobody's actually watching it.
Yeah, I've noted this. Like it's a high security government installation, and the cleaner comes in with a record player and a bunch of eggs.
Yeah, I like the way his hand just came up and grabs the egg. Yoink. Just a nice slow motion. After that, there's like the song "I Know Why" montage, where you get this sort of quick montage of her going in quite often and evolving the relationship with her, and Bob / Dimitri spies her staring lovingly at each other.
But he doesn't, like, as one of the lead scientists, and he doesn't dislike it. He actually finds it intriguing and informative.
Yeah, like he's a communist spy, which we find out in the next scene. But
poor old Dimitri.
Yeah, he is all right, that's me.
All right. So there was your clip, Oliver.
I'd like to register my first guess.
Sure.
Irish ears are listening.
Unfortunately, you were incorrect. Would you like to guess the movie they were talking about, perhaps?
I have a second guess. I don't know about the movie, but I would like to guess Around the World in Liam Neeson.
Nope. So sorry. Any other guesses you would like to put in before we go with the written answers?
Irish spring into the podcast. Let's get clean on movie reviews.
I mean, you got some of the words right.
Potato pod.
Yep. Oh my God. He got Alyssa. I don't know how he got it. No, the actual answers for you to choose from, Oliver, are number 1, 15K plus random movie reviews. Number 2 is Nicholas, just with a question mark, just Nicholas with a question mark. And number 3, IMDb roulette.
I'm going to have to go with IMDb roulette. But before we do, I'd like to know if you know that movie they were talking about, Nicholas, without having any other.
Actually did. It was 2017's The Shape of Water, which won, I think it won Best Picture that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Surprise. Nicholas
Surprise. It's your boy Del Toro. I have a reason
think
for knowing
Nicholas was
this.
valid.
Yeah.
That was
Nicholas was a valid pick, especially for this movie, because I actually was working at a company when this movie came out, and I made a video essay about it for the company that Del Toro blasted on social media. He was like, this is so cool. So it's like my 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. So good choice adding my name there, Alyssa. But unfortunately, the correct answer was 15K random movie reviews.
Wow. So
yeah.
I thought that sounded like a podcast name as well, but then I was thinking you start out with review number 1, and then I guess you're basically saying when you're going to stop, sometime over 15,000.
I guess so. I mean, I didn't know what the show is about past movie reviews, but the description kind of lays it out. Basically, well, first off, this is from the episode 57, The Shape of Water, 2017. And the description is, we randomly choose a movie from Metacritic's all-time list of movies to watch, whether we like it or not. So it's like, 15K plus is, I'm assuming that's just however many movies are listed on Metacritic, maybe, or something.
It's like the inverse of what we're doing, trying to get to plot 0. We have a definitive goal. They got the plus. They can just keep going. But this,
they can keep going.
We have a goal, and we are going to end this podcast one day.
Yeah.
Scarce supply.
We're actually going to put a USB drive with every episode in a time capsule and bury it, and just see what happens in 50 years.
You don't want to send it to space in the golden record? I mean, I kind of thought that was our...
I think we can not copy the Voyager space probe there. I think we're good if we don't.
I would prefer we put it in a wax sealed bottle and throw it in at the base of the Mississippi River into the Gulf and let it be carried out to possibly South America or the west coast of Africa.
Well,
There you
hold
go.
on a sec. What about the octopi? They can get
What
into the
about the
bottles. The octopi can pry the tops off of the bottles and get the message. So
Oh,
it's
they're gonna get the message.
yeah.
How
Our
about
podcast is for everybody, including the
New-
octopi.
This
new
is a
idea?
podcast for octopi.
What if we just duct taped something with all of the episodes on it to an octopus and just let him roam? Just see what happens, man. Maybe he finds an iPod and listens to it. Maybe he gets
That's
tangled in
how
a
we
net
get
and someone
canceled.
finds it.
They smell with their suckers.
They really?
I love how we all have so many octopus facts.
They do.
It's decided this is now a podcast for octopi. We've expanded the
can't-
listener base. We will be distributing into the
I can't wait to see what Eddie comes up with this.
Now, octopus don't live all that long, so if you do have a pet one, don't get too attached.
very sad note to end that on.
Also, I don't know if you all saw this, but there was a conspiracy theory floating around that octopus were actually intergalactic seed pods from like an alien form of life that landed into the ocean.
Definitely. I like that. I
Checks
believe it.
out.
Yeah.
It's obvious. I mean, if octopi and whatever else at the bottom of the ocean doesn't make you believe in aliens, I don't know what else will. They're right there. They look crazy. That thing
Anglerfish.
is what's it?
Anglerfish, terrifying.
Anglerfish, yeah. I mean, that's an alien planet as far as I'm concerned.
Valid.
I feel
As a
like we've
person,
had this
like
discussion on this podcast before.
we have, as a person deathly allergic to fish, by the way, everything is terrifying to me. Like a goldfish looks like it could kill me because it probably could. So, on that enchanting note, let's just try and get this train back on the rail with Max.
Let's do it. Shout out to my octopies. Eyes closed, ears open.
And without going into biblical verses and things like that, because again, like I value your opinions and your beliefs, and if you don't care for what I'm saying, that's fine. This is a judgment-free zone. So I don't think that there is any contradiction because God created energy. Like God is the creation of everything. So back to terms of manifesting, again, like we're in this Christian biblical view. So back in terms of manifesting, I feel like it's a buzzword because there's so many terms and principles that can mean the same thing. And this is me not having or not wanting to take any sides on anything. Again, everything that I'm saying, you take what resonates with you. I do feel that there are so many parallels within different religions also, right? There are so many different parallels. And if we take the time to learn about different religions, like.
Okay. And here are your options. Number 1, the balanced mom method. Number 2, kids, coffee, keys. Did I just brush my teeth? And number 3, just mom things.
Number 1.
Fair enough. You are correct, sir. It was the balanced mom method.
I
And
feel
this
like,
is-
did I accidentally bribe you guys or something? Like, did I accidentally send you a bunch of money to make my options really?
I
Past
mean, was
couple
that
weeks, it's been no contest.
you sent me a weird Venmo at like 4 a.m., but I thought you were just like being friendly or something. I didn't
Sleep
think you were
bribing.
bribing me.
Of course,
Yeah.
I got a bad sleep bribing problem.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was weird that the message on the Venmo was you better give me a softball question or else. But like, I thought that was just your weird sense of humor, man.
Don't you train for this? You have a sensei? Shouldn't,
Yeah.
in theory, do above
That's
average?
right. That was my story. I've been training for this. That's why I'm much better now.
That's your
What do you
alibi
mean
for
bribing?
bribing us.
The sensei. Thank you, sensei.
Yeah, there is no bribes.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Just very charitable donations. This is from episode 84, by the way, Bridging the Gap, Embracing Manifestation and Religions for Moms Seeking Spiritual and Energetic Alignment, part 1 of 2. So, everyone, buckle up for this next description. It's a bit of a long one. In fact, I'm only reading the first third of it. So, it's time to break free from survival mode and feel like you again. Are you tired of living day after day like you're drowning in the responsibilities of motherhood? Are you done struggling with trying to find the time and energy to get it all done every day? Is the mom guilt, comparison, and unpredictability of motherhood not helping in trying to help make a change? Do you want to show an example of self-control, calm, and perseverance to your little ones, but are so exhausted, which has your negative self-talk on repeat, patience spread thin, and you feel like you're losing yourself a bit more every day? In this podcast, you will get a simple and sustainable approach to break free from your survival mode, to help you overcome your mental and emotional ties to stress and overwhelm, to get your confidence, good mood, and energy back, and finally feel in control of your schedule. And that's where we're going to cut it off, because that's about the first third of it. But I don't know if any of us are particularly interested in this type of a podcast, but hey, it sounds pretty interesting for people who are maybe like recent mothers and stuff like that. And that's cool. You love to see it. So let's go with our next contestant, Pratik.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Ooh, there were a few different things, but I remember I really wanted to be a chef. I used to love cooking. I also at one point, I always kind of wanted to be an artist, but there was definitely one point where I was like, I'm gonna be an artist for sure. This was like a random thing when I was really little, but I wanted to be like a fire deputy or something random. Like, I don't know, let's go fight those fires. Yeah, so those are the ones I remember the most.
Nice. A chef? That's really cool.
Yeah. No, I could never. Anytime I try to cook something, my back hurts. I don't understand. Counter and cut stuff. I'm in pain.
What's your typical dinner?
Ooh, I've been so bad lately. I've been eating out a lot and not really.
No.
Oh, but my boyfriend is so cultured and stuff, and he's just.
Okay, there was your clip, Pratik. Alyssa, was that the right clip? Cover your eyes for a second.
I'm pretty
Thanks.
sure. Yeah, no,
okay, I just wanted to make sure.
That was correct.
This is going to be fun. Pratik.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one, it sounds like. Let's do it.
Here are your options. Number 1, NFT Catcher Podcast. Number 2, Blockchain Buddies. And number 3, putting the fun in non-fungible.
The clip definitely did not have any NFT stuff in there. But,
I don't know, man. I got a lot of information about NFTs out of it.
Yeah, but all of these the titles, are all kind of unrelated to the clip that I heard. So it could very well be the NFT thing or a blockchain or whatever. Let's go with the second one. What was it? Blockchain Buddies?
Yep.
Sounds like an
Buddies.
Interesting podcast title.
Unfortunately, I'm so sorry. It is a good title for a podcast, though. It is incorrect. It was NFT Catcher. You didn't get that from the clip, really? I'm just shocked, is all.
My NFT knowledge needs to be updated, clearly.
Yeah, clearly. If you don't know about back pain while you cook, this is from the episode The Abstract Journey in Web3 with Alyssa Stevens. And here's our description. With Jennifer Sudo and Michael Keene, NFTs are going mainstream. Jennifer and Michael keep their audience informed about all relevant projects as the industry continues to expand. With a focus on market dynamics and turning a profit, this podcast is perfect for the seasoned NFT trader or someone who's looking to learn what the heck is going on with these JPEGs. So, I think it's safe to assume the clip came from early in the episode, perhaps while they're introducing a guest. But there you have it. If you're interested in NFTs and you want to learn about back pain, there's a podcast for that. Now, I believe, Christy, you haven't gone yet, right?
Yes, I haven't gone yet.
All right, let's change that real quick.
Okay, fine.
Maybe just something in that script wasn't clicking for him. But, whatever he does next, I'll be excited for. And I have plenty of stuff, not only his own movies, but the movies that are kind of the DNA of his own films that I can go back and watch at any time. So I have no shortage in content, but I would have loved to see his take on a 70s or 60s movie critic.
Sure, yeah. So what about you, Lindsay? What did you think about the news dropping? Did it surprise you, or were you like, of course, it's Quentin Tarantino. He's always going to leave us guessing.
Well, I don't know. You remember when 1899 got canceled and there was the whole maybe it's all a trick because it's maybe
2099.
Okay.
And so I thought, oh, maybe he's just being clever with the wording. Like, the film critic won't be his last picture. It's still being made, but it won't be his last picture. And I thought maybe people were just messing with us a little bit. But I just thought, oh, brother.
All right. There is your clip. And
Awesome.
here are your options.
Okay.
Number 1, Netflix and Pod. Number 2, Behind the Series. And number 3, Sweet Child of Time.
Netflix and Pod.
So sorry. So very, 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 very sorry. It is Sweet Child of Time.
Why?
Well, let's find out, shall we?
Why?
Well, you see, Christy, that's the name that their dart hit on the dartboard.
I'm into it. Let's find out why.
Yeah, sure. So this is from the episode Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Jason Kleberg. And here's our show description. A podcast recap of the Netflix series 1899 and Dark and the Amazon series Wheel of Time.
Oh, okay. Those movies are time travel movies. Okay, or all those shows are time travel shows. Okay, fine.
There you go.
That actually sounds awesome. I'm a big fan of Dark. And
oh, really?
I was disappointed that they canceled 1899. So
well, it wasn't very good. It wasn't very good.
It was
Dark was good.
Oh.
Dark
Are we
was
about
good.
to have a cage fight?
Great.
Oh my god.
Dark was
is it happening?
fantastic.
Dark was amazing.
1899
1899 could have gotten there if they'd maybe like not canceled it. But maybe, I don't know.
We'll see.
That's like Netflix's log line. It's Netflix. You're canceled.
Yep.
As somebody who's just still very upset that they canceled Glow, I had to put in my 2 cents. Okay. So now that everyone's gone, we have time for one more little clip. If everyone wants to band together, and Pratik and Christy seemingly can put aside their differences for a few minutes.
I'm willing to work with you, Pratik. Are you
We'll
willing to
see what happens.
Oh man, Christy acting like he's the bigger man. Like he was trash talking Pratik's show. All right, cover your eyes, y'all.
Where is it?
Actually comes up more often than you'd think. Yeah, people get to this kind of slightly disillusioned, peed off state very often in their careers at some point to go, I kind of don't know why I'm here now. I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know if what I'm doing is going to have any value.
They kind of come across like they've lost the mojo, don't they?
That's a brilliant description. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. They're slightly, they're like, this is going to sound really nerdy. Have you ever seen Big Hero 6?
I have, yes.
Yeah, they're like him when he's slightly deflated. When he's not got enough.
Baymax. Deflated.
Yeah, it's exactly how they come across. You just kind of go, right, my job here as the coach is now to pump them back up.
And often, as a coach, you kind of go, where do I go with this? Because you go, hang on a minute, you're in.
All right. There was your clip, and here are your options. Number 1, the question is. Number 2, hacking your work environment. Number 3, cracking your own code.
I don't know, but that last one, I mean, this is a family podcast. I'm not sure that that's appropriate.
Perhaps it isn't.
Why not? What's wrong with what's not?
Max, we'll tell you when you're older.
I need that explanation too.
I'm going to be real. I'm a little lost. I think I get it, but I also don't.
It's not just me.
You just see whose mind goes right into the gutter. How's Dewey doing, Christy?
I need a second. I'm so lost.
Guys, this should be super easy. We're showing you the artwork.
So you are. So you are.
Why is it still on screen?
Yeah.
Well, okay, I didn't think that this was a good clue.
You don't think the headliner default image when there's no cover art added is a good clue?
Correct.
I know.
Are we listening to our own podcast from the
headliner.
Yeah.
So that's a clue. They use headliner.
Yes, Max, would you like to pull up the user list and fan through the options?
Oh,
1.3 million options. Here you go.
Humble brag.
I think this is our podcast from the future.
Nice. I like that. Let's get weird.
Are we
about time
British?
travel?
So if
We
if
could
this is
be.
our podcast from the future, what would we name it of these three options?
The
The
I
question
don't even remember
is
the
Apparently not one of them.
hacking the work environment or cracking your own code.
So it's between hacking or cracking.
The
Sure.
amount of times we say the question
There's three
is
options.
meetings is like is definitely going to make the first one a ringer for our future podcast.
I don't believe it would be though, Max, because you're super into octopuses suddenly. And I don't see that changing.
Did I mention that they smell with their suckers earlier?
Yep.
Okay, good. I wasn't
Cool,
sure.
cool. Cool. No, I missed it, so I got to hear that for the first time. That's going great.
I just hope Dewey never falls into a tank of octopi. That would be so scary for the little kitty because cats don't usually like water.
Oh my god!
That is a big concern for you need to really
There are
Couldn't
fears
they
that I
crush it too?
there are fears that I have, and now there are more fears that I have.
Well,
These are
that's what
going-
the show's all about. I mean,
my morning is going so good.
Octopi aren't evil. They have 3 hearts. They have bigger hearts than all of us.
they
It's
have
true.
3 hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like the Shogun. I don't know if anybody's watching Shogun, but they talk about their many hearts in that show. And I guess octopi are Shogun as well.
Awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool fact. You heard it here. They smell with their suckers and they follow the Shogun way.
they're also aliens, apparently. Just
And-
Let's go cracking.
Let's
Let's
do
go
it.
cracking.
Cracking your own
good about it.
code.
I could crack my own code. I think it
apparently y'all couldn't, because that is not the answer. It is the question is.
So it
And-
was all number ones.
No.
No,
I
no,
changed
no,
one
it
of
wasn't.
them.
Got
Yeah.
Jesse coming in with the notes.
The stats.
Trying
Here
to-
we go. This is from, and I'm just saying it the way it's written, Alyssa. Epsido 127. What's the point? And the description is, we believe that people and teams underperform, not because they want to, not because they mean to, but because they can't get out of their own way. This may not be down to them. It could be the culture or the environment. Our experiences shape our mindsets and habits, often causing us to get stuck. Changing behavior requires a change in mindset. Join us on this journey as we discuss everything from how we think to techniques and shortcuts to help us shape our thoughts to help us reach our goals. We'll be asking a range of questions about how the way that we think shapes our ability to change, be more productive, and lead effectively. And there you have it.
I do
So,
want it to be noted, and you can check the tape, that I was on the scent of that title until you guys distracted me with all the octopi talk.
yeah, how about that?
Well, you need to tell your sensei to teach you about distractions.
Yeah.
So,
Very good lesson.
Make sure you put your suckers on all the scents you want to smell.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I was an octopus, I would have had a much better scent, apparently, with my many tentacles to smell with.
Octopi actually don't have tentacles. They have arms. Those are squids. that have,
Okay.
Dude, I just watched Max's mind get blown in real time. Like, there was a distinct moment before and after he heard that.
Is that was you interpreted that as my mind being blown? Okay.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to
That's
interpret it.
also
No, well,
just learning. That's just learning, Nick.
No, but he had a reaction.
No,
guys,
okay,
I saw it.
I'll be
I
candid.
swear.
The reaction was like, why does everybody here know so much about these sea creatures?
I
There's
feel
so
like
many
Jesse's
documentaries
Googling.
about them, and yeah, Jesse knows everything about everything. I feel so.
I mean, I ran out. I knew the heart thing, and I knew like a couple of these other ones, but at this point, I'm Googling.
Do we just
Oh, okay.
we should just be a
Yeah,
sea creature.
I don't know quite that much. I knew the heart, and that was about it.
We know more about sea creatures than podcasts. We should just focus on that. Let's just make stuff for sea creatures podcasts for octopi,
Look,
audiograms
Max,
for squids.
before we end, I do want to give some
Gonna have
great life
emails.
advice. My mama Gump once told me that podcasts are a lot like octopuses. You never know what you're gonna get. Okay, so
Because they have
Just-
eight arms.
yeah,
Which are
because
not-
they have 8 arms, and you physically don't know which one you're gonna grab into. They're slimy, quick little critters.
And then when you grab it, it's going to smell you, which is kind of weird. So
Yeah, which is just like weird. So you let go, and then I have anaphylaxis problems, so I'll probably just like be running for the hills the second they show up. So, you know,
good lesson.
fun stuff. Yeah.
Good lesson.
Anyway, thanks for playing, everybody, and thanks to those who listened. We'll be seeing you soon. Bye.